He's called Richard. Inspired by just one tennis match, he penned a comprehensive 78-page career plan for his two daughters, Venus and Serena. This marked the beginning of their rigorous daily training, which was often met with mockery from local thugs. Faced with harassment, Richard stood up to the bullies, demanding they keep away from his daughters, only to be met with violence. To ensure his daughters' safety, he chose to endure in silence. At home, he insisted they go to bed by 10 p.m. to maintain a healthy routine. Tennis, being an expensive sport coupled with financial struggles, saw Richard juggling roles as a coach by day and working night shifts to afford professional training for his daughters. Despite tennis being dominated by the affluent white class, Richard tirelessly sought out renowned coaches who might train his daughters for free, a difficult task given the racial prejudices. Undeterred, Richard and his daughters traveled from court to court, pitching their potential to various coaches. Eventually, his persistence paid off and a white coach agreed to give the girls a trial. After demonstrating their exceptional athletic talent, the coach agreed to train one of them. Venus was chosen, leaving Serena feeling dejected at home, only to be comforted by their mother.
I know you feel left out, but you're not left out. You got something great too.
What?
Me.
Come on, we got work to do.
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
While Venus trained rigorously with the coach, Richard recorded the sessions for Serena, who was equally committed, with their mother acting as her personal coach. Under professional guidance, they moved away from their makeshift training methods, inching closer to becoming top athletes. On the coach's advice, they entered youth tennis leagues. Venus, initially nervous, made a service error, but with their father's encouragement, quickly found her rhythm, overpowering her opponents and securing their first trophy. To the joy of their coach and family, the family's celebration in the car with the trophy was contrasted by Richard's grave expression. He abruptly made them get out and drove away, leaving them by the roadside, which bewildered their mother and led her to confront him. It turns out Richard felt his daughters were becoming too complacent with their success and wanted them to walk home as a mild punishment. It was only after his wife's insistence that he let them back in the car. At home, Richard showed them the story of Cinderella, asking what they learned from it. Some said bravery, others politeness, and some said never to stop dreaming, but these weren't the lessons Richard aimed for. He wanted his daughters to understand the importance of humility, to remain calm and composed at all times, a lesson they took to heart in the presence of their formidable father. This intensely dedicated father, Richard, trained his daughters in all conditions, even through storms. However, one evening, returning home from practice, they found a police car waiting. A white neighbor had reported him for child abuse, claiming he made his daughters practice in the rain. Confronted by white police officers, Richard passionately defended his actions, stating his house was home to future champions, doctors and lawyers, and questioned why it was wrong for black people to pursue their dreams. His response left the officers speechless. As the sisters continued to win matches, their fame grew, attracting the attention of agents offering lucrative deals to Venus. However, during negotiations, the agents' subtle racial biases infuriated Richard, leading him to reject their offer and leave. The girls' coach couldn't understand Richard's decision to jeopardize Venus's promising future over a minor issue, leading to a fallout between him and Richard. Richard found a new coach for Venus, Coach Machi, known for his strong coaching skills and having trained many champions. Richard was very satisfied with the new coach and the upgraded training facilities. Under the guidance of two coaches, the girls' skills improved significantly. However, Richard, concerned about their education, decided to refuse all competitions for the time being, focusing solely on training. This decision puzzled the coach and left Venus in tears, questioning her father's choice.
But for you, you're not gonna just be representing you, you're gonna be representing every little black girl on earth.
Daddy, you always said I'd be #1 in the world, right? Let's go out there and show all of those people that I can handle what's coming. And I'm not gonna let you down.
Moved by his daughter's persistence, Richard eventually agreed to her participating in competitions. Venus was set to play her first professional match against the world's top-ranked player and the reigning US Open champion. Facing a seemingly insurmountable challenge, Venus became the focus of media skepticism, with many doubting her ability to win against the world's top player. The match began, and Venus quickly silenced the skeptics with her performance, overwhelming her opponent and drawing energy from her family's cheers. She dominated the first 2 sets, pushing her opponent to the brink of a mental breakdown. Just one more win would crown her as the new top player. Just as Venus was leading, her opponent's coach called for a break, using a restroom visit to disrupt her rhythm. This tactic, meant to cool down her momentum, left Venus disoriented due to her lack of experience in major tournaments. This unsportsmanlike strategy aimed to unsettle Venus by breaking her focus. Despite this, the match resumed, and the ploy seemed effective as Venus began to make uncharacteristic mistakes. Struggling to regain her composure, Venus was ultimately defeated in a comeback by her opponent, leaving her heartbroken in the locker room. Her parents comforted her as she blamed herself for the loss.
One chance.
You just went toe-to-toe for 2 hours with the #1 player in the whole world.
Had her shook.
And her knees shaking.
Yes. Yes.
And you did it with grace. You are a champion, Venus Williams. You gonna walk out there with your head up. I have never been more proud of a person in my whole life.
With her father's consolation, Venus's spirits lifted. As they left the locker room, the stands were empty except for their family. Though she lost the match, her performance won the world's respect. Fans outside chanted her name, and the sisters gained a large following. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this.